Hi, I'm Emmett Lewis and this is my apprentice Isaac with me today. Today we're going to look at something that is a personal pet peeve of mine. It's also something that I'd really like to hopefully that the community would adopt as a manner, and I'm aiming this mainly at the yoga community, though you do see this in other spaces. It is how to spot or assist a drop back, aka a controlled nicely back, aka don't drop on your head back. Now I'm going to demonstrate the common method of spotting this and explain why it's unsafe. And it's just unsafe. It's one of these things like when we're spotting, we're not spotting for when a person is in control and can do a motion and just needs to feel safe. We're spotting for when the person completely loses it. And we have two tasks. One, to get the person to the ground, not on their face. And two, to keep yourself safe. So these are the things. If you assume the responsibility of spotting, the hierarchy for me anyway as a coach is I will keep the person safe and I'll then try to keep myself safe in that order. Hopefully both of us will be safe, which is what good spotting technique will do. Whereas if you have, it's one of those things like we've all been in these situations, or maybe not, where someone's doing a double back or something and they've lost it on a trampoline and you have to get under them. These kind of things. So it can be unrisky, but this should be safe. This is one of these very safe ways to spot, or a very safe motion. It's not high speed, it should be controlled. But the way people spot this is absolutely terrible. So we're going to demo the common way. So the most common way in yoga is people will stand in a split stance, feet in line. So you're already off balance on this way. You can spread it out, but now I'm going to try pull Isaac towards me. This is fine. Now just go down. So as he goes down, this is fine if I have control. If Isaac's foot slipped, or if he just loses the hips backwards now, just lose it a tiny bit. Like I lose it here. I'm a big guy. If this happened at speed, or you weren't paying attention, and let's admit it to ourselves, sometimes we're not paying 100% attention. That's okay. You're going to end up ramming his face into the ground, particularly with the traditional style of yogi drop backs where we have the hands here, we go back and then we bring them overhead. It's fine, it's a technique thing. But if you're in that style, you will drop someone's head onto the ground. And I have it on good account. I've known enough people that it's happened to. And then the worst thing about it is, if we just set up, is if this person goes, if he goes, I'm going to end up on top of him. So not only do we have the risk to the person, we have the risk of my glorious 100 kilos falling on his face. Not safe. So I'm going to show you guys a safer method of spotting that will reduce the risk for everyone involved and is quite nice. So Isaac is going to stand in front of me at about 90 degrees. I'm going to stand slightly off to the side just to demo it, but in reality you want to be here. So I'm going to assume a wide stance. This gives me a lot of control side to side, because if we think if the force goes this way, what do we use, say, a horse stance first? For projecting force sideways. We're going to do the same thing in this. So if he goes, I have the whole ability to shift it. I'm going to use one hand here. Now, look what I've done. I've made a link between here and my stomach. Sometimes, like in some cases, I'll actually put my elbow on top of my pelvic bone just to lock it into place. It's not going to slide. I'm not out here. I'm not going to be able to hold them. In here is good. I can hold that. It's nice and strong. I'm going to get in close. Isaac's going to put his arms up overhead like he's about to go. We're going to shift the hips forward. What this also enables me to do is I can have a second hand free if I'm confident he knows what he's doing. So I can cue the motion. So start going chest, hips forward. I can just control this, and then I just squat down, squat, boom. If he loses it, so come up. I'll spot you back up. So go 1, 2, and up. Graceful. But that shows exactly what we're looking for in this. It's just like, it's easy for me to spot someone who's quite big out of this. So we're just going to lose it into my arms. We're going to go halfway point, something happens, he loses it. Boom. Oh look, you can't go. You can drop, you can throw him around. It's easy for me to do this. If you're concerned that you can legitimately have someone who's like pushing 50 kilos who could spot me doing this. If we adopt the next level, which will be to kneel down and use both hands, and I'm under, look how close I am to him. I'm not far away. I want to be close. We're trying to be close to encourage the feeling of safety, that the person does not panic and that they focus on the technique. So hands up, I'm here, got my nice control here. Boom. Very safe. You'll just come down normally. Very safe to get someone to the ground, particularly if people are learning this and they have that fear of going backwards. So we have a lot going on this, but for me, this method, when we go holding hips, it's okay if someone is really good, but it's just not safe enough to be counted as a method I would recommend people using. Whereas what I've shown, I've legitimately caught one guy who was pretty flexible, pretty big, like 110 kilos, whose foot slipped on the ground. It was like, technique was fine, he knew what he was doing, he's confident. Foot just went, caught him, didn't carry him per se, but I was able to control it enough that he was able to get his head to his chest, down to the ground, and nothing bad happened. If I was this way and he lost it, bam, 200 kilos on your face. Not a good look, really. Anyway, I hope this has enlightened a few of you on how to spot a drop back, assist a drop back. Whoever came up with that name, drop back, just no. Anyway, over to you guys. Enjoy.